Hi, everyone, and a warm welcome to this month's episode of the Releasing the Real You show. Now, it is January, so I thought I would be the guest of this show today. Normally, I try and always have a guest with me, and we talk about anything and everything that somehow relates to well-being and health. So today I thought I'd be my own guest and talk to you a little bit about who I am, why I do what I do, and what my beliefs are around healthy lifestyle in general. It is January, and many of you might have set some New Year's resolutions to be healthy and lose weight this year. So let's talk about who I am, and let's go from there. So my name is Iarchy, and I am a weight loss and healthy lifestyle coach. I work with busy people who struggle to lead a healthy lifestyle while being busy, and I help them to take back control of what they think, eat, and do. Now, I made a big career change 10 years ago, and well, actually, it's already 13 years ago on the 1st of Feb. And before that, I used to work in the corporate world. Now, growing up, I was very sporty, I was very active, but I always liked my sweets, especially my sweets. By the way, a Haribo addict in remission. And the amount of activity I did at the time probably outweighed a little bit and helped me to not show the effect of the amount of sugary stuff and crap that I used to eat. But at home, we had a very, very healthy diet. So I like good food, I like healthy food, and I used to exercise a lot or run around a lot. So all in all, I have to say I led quite a healthy lifestyle. But as I went to uni, things started changing because suddenly I had to cook myself. And that was kind of okay still as well. But it's really when I started working that things changed. And I used to work in the IT industry. I used to work long hours. Over time, I used to also entertain clients. I used to travel a lot for work. And suddenly, leading a healthy lifestyle and being busy was a bit of a struggle for me. And that happened over quite a lot of years. And over time, I gained slowly but surely, gained some weight, and wasn't really happy with the way I looked, the way I felt. I very often had headaches. My tummy was always bloated. My skin wasn't always great. And it did affect my confidence, my self-esteem, and obviously my energy levels weren't where I wanted to be. So I had more and more sugar to keep me going on this crazy schedule that I had for myself. At the same time, I was entertaining clients when I was out, and traveling, hotels, as you might know from holidays, not always very easy to be healthy and stay healthy. It can be done for sure, but it wasn't easy. I used to go to the gym when I was at home, which didn't happen that often. I had many gym memberships that went unused. So if you are thinking of joining the gym in January, don't. Make sure, unless you really make sure that you will and you can attend. And I wasn't happy. I couldn't wear the clothes that I wanted to wear. I felt embarrassed going out because I had nothing to wear. I didn't feel comfortable dating. There were lots of things where, it affected my life, but also, work-wise. my performance sometimes was affected because I was so tired. And so I had more and more and more sugar and sweets to just keep me going and give me the energy that I needed to perform at my best. So not a nice picture, but maybe, you know, you can relate to that, and or in one way or another. But for me, it was sugar. For you, it might be coffee, I don't know, or chocolate or crisps or something to keep you going. And so I was looking for a solution. I signed up with different personal trainers. Now, some were very understanding that quite often I wasn't going to be there because I was traveling. And some others were like, well, if you don't come 3-4 times a week, it ain't going to happen. Now, it ain't going to happen. For me, it was like, well, then it's not going to happen because I am not around. I just physically wasn't around. It's not that I didn't want to come and go to the gym. It just was that I wasn't there. So I was looking for something that was kind of flexible enough, but at the same time, if I had had a personal trainer that would have given me an exercise plan for when I was traveling that was realistic and I could have done somewhere else, my chances of, you know, staying on track would probably have been a little bit better. At the same time, when it comes to my nutrition, I remember talking to a personal trainer who said, well, you have to treat your body as a temple. Yep. I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's all good and well on paper. But if I go out with clients, what am I going to say? I'm just going to order a salad when they have a 3-course meal. That's not going to work. You know, let them drink the bottle of wine. I used to travel quite a lot to France at some point in time, you know, so bottle of wine with lunch was something that was totally normal for the French. And so get them to drink and me not drinking, how does it work? And I'm like, well, you have to make a decision. It's one or the other. You can't have it both ways. And the last personal trainer I worked with was, it was quite interesting because it was at a time when I started already to make some changes. I knew I wasn't perfect. And at the consultation, we had a nice chat, and I explained to her what my lifestyle was. And I said, you know, over the last few months, I have started to make some changes. I know it's not perfect yet, and which is why I'm here. And I need help. And she said, well, whatever you did is not good enough because or you're perfect or you're not. And I straight away, like said, ain't going to work with me. I need some kind of realistic flexibility. And flexibility wasn't per se, you know, allowing me to eat the sweets. Flexibility for me was about being realistic with my life and my, you know, it was kind of, well, the only way I can do it probably, if I was talking to those personal trainer, was to stop working and have all the time I wanted to look after myself and look after my health. But that wasn't realistic. And that's where I started looking for other solutions for myself, really. And I had already trained as a personal trainer. I had had a basic nutrition course, which was part at the time of a personal trainer's course. And so it's not that I didn't know how the body worked. It's not that I didn't know stuff about nutrition. Again, I grew up, as I said, eating very healthily at home. It was more about how do you combine it all? How do you make it stick, and how do you make it realistic for someone that is busy and that can't take their, you know, put their life on hold to start looking after themselves? So gradually I started looking at habits and at mindset and at what I was doing. I was also looking at what other people were doing and starting to observe. I became an observer of what people were doing. So, and it taught me a lot, obviously, doing some research, learning about how the brain works, learning more about how the body works, learning about habits. All this kind of stuff helped me to, over time, by the way, as well, working with my clients, has shaped me to who I am and what I believe today as being a solution for busy people. So the people I work with today are people who are just like me, or used to be like me, or are like I used to be. Very busy, putting themselves last on the priority list, not just because they don't have the time, but also because they don't know how to look after themselves in a better way, and give way too much to everything else that is on their schedule. So most of my clients are women, but that's not per se who I work with. I also work with men. Interestingly enough, most men I've worked with are, I'd say, taking the emotion away from the whole concept of working on our health, and are way more clear and quick and focused on and following the suggestions that I give compared to women. That doesn't mean that women don't get the results that they want to get, but quite often, and I suspect, and I know now, not just suspect, that our hormonal cycle have also a lot to do with it, as well as the stigma that women feel much more when it comes to looking after ourselves, our weight, the way we look, the way we portray ourselves, etc. While for men, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier. There's less stigma attached to being slightly overweight, while for women, it is a big issue, and I'd say self-esteem and confidence is much more affected by it all than for men. Not all. I'm not making a broad assumption here, but that's what I've seen over the years of working with clients. Now, the big thing that I have encountered over time, and for me personally, my own experience as well, is that we absolutely have to reframe the whole idea of dieting. Dieting by counting calories, or dieting by cutting out food groups, or dieting by fasting, or dieting by cutting out everything you like or ever want, is not working. Okay. It's not working because as kids, we are known to want to do the stuff that we're not allowed to do. If you do have kids, or if you remember yourself being a kid, or if you have nieces or nephews or whatever, you tell them not to do something, and that is exactly what they want to do. And we're the same. We haven't evolved from then. Whatever we are told that we can't do, or whatever we're telling ourselves that we can't do, we absolutely want to do. So waking up on January 1st and saying, I'm going to cut out all the sugar, without thinking of what it involves, is not going to happen. So we have to look at things in a much broader way. For me personally, weight loss is a byproduct of living a healthy lifestyle. And a healthy lifestyle includes a healthy mindset, a healthy habits in general, a healthy diet or healthy nutrition, because for me, a diet is a way of eating, healthy exercise or regular exercise or movement, and good sleep hygiene and good sleep, and lowering the stress that we live in. Now, stress is a good thing. Stress helps us avoid certain things. But if we are at a high level of stress for too long, that's when it starts affecting our health and well-being. So we absolutely have to start thinking about that as well. Now, when I work with clients, I don't provide a diet. I don't tell them what to eat. We are all different people. We all come from different backgrounds. I have clients with, of different religions, of different upbringing. And if I tell someone who, let's say, is Asian to stop eating rice and stop eating their curries, chances are that it's not going to work. Or if I tell them all they can eat now are salads and something that they're not used to eat, it's not going to work. So it's about making what you already do better and serving you. But it's also about making you realize what you are currently doing and why you are currently doing certain things. And that can only be happening by taking some time to stop, to reflect and analyze what's currently happening for you. And because we are so busy, we generally don't take that time. And that time doesn't mean taking an hour out of your day to just think, oh, why am I doing this? And why, why am I keeping on doing this as well? No, it's about taking a little bit of time, a few minutes, 3 times a day, to stop and breathe and think about what's happening for you. If you run your own business or you are at a high level within your company, you probably know that in the morning or in the night before, you look at your diary and you're like, okay, what am I going to prioritize and what am I going to do tomorrow? And then around lunchtime, you do a little bit of a check-in to see how you're doing compared to your to-do list or your goal list or whatever you want to call it. And in the evening, you do a little bit of reflection about how did today go? Well, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your weights, it's exactly the same. I like to call this whole journey to a healthy lifestyle Project You, because the way I approach it is in the same way that I would approach any other project that you might work on. Now, it's definitely different than just providing you with a diet and say, off you go and do it. Because I will ask you questions that you might not want to answer. But the fact that you might not want to answer is because you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look at what you are currently doing and why you are doing in a very non-judgmental way. If you are judgmental, it's not going to work. And the clients I work with keep on telling me that I'm the least judgmental person that they've ever met, because we all come with our own habits. So we have to look at the habits that we have, and we have good habits. We all have good habits. We also have bad habits, but we also have habits that we don't have yet. And if we focus on the good habits that we have and do them more often, and focus on those habits that we don't have yet, that we know are going to help us achieve our goal, those bad habits are going to become obsolete. In the same way that if you tell yourself that you are going to cut out all the sugar that you eat, but you don't replace it with nourishing your body with healthy stuff, you are going to stay hungry. when I wanted to cut the Haribos out of my life, I had to make sure that I was eating food, because those Haribos were my food. It was my fuel that kept me going through the week and through the day. So if I didn't have other food, I was starving. And when you're starving, you reach out to the quick and easy stuff, which for me was Haribos, for you might be chocolates, crisps, or whatever it is that is your weakness, or cake or biscuits. So it's really about thinking and planning and preparing. And yes, that requires some effort, in the same way that running your business or leading a team is requires you to do some planning and preparation. The same happens when it comes to your own health and well-being and your own journey. How quickly you're going to achieve where you want to be, that all depends on how realistically, how much you can put in. But that doesn't mean that you can't achieve it, even if you are super busy. It might just mean that it might take you 2 years as opposed to taking 6 months. So what? As long as you move forward, you are moving forward to your end goal. And if there's only 5 or 10 minutes a day that you have, that's all you have. That's what we have to work on and with. If over time you see you can, there might be periods of time where you are really, really busy. I know I have one client who is in January. She has lots of trade shows, because that's the time of the year, January and September, where she have her trade shows. So she knows that those months she can't give as much attention as she wants to her own journey. But there's always the rest of the year where you might have more time. So it's about looking at every day and every week ahead and say, tomorrow I have a little bit more time, so I'll do a little bit more. Next week, I might have a crazy week. So let's see what the minimum is that I can do to still keep me going forward on my journey. We are, when we look at diets, so set in our ways that it can only happen if we cut out calories or cut down on calories, that it can only happen if we cut out on certain foods, that it can only happen if we go 5 times a week to the gym, that it can only happen if we do X, Y, and Z. That's not the reality for most people. So let's forget about what we have learned and what we have ingested about what a diet should look like. And let's look at our own lives and our own situation in a much different way. That's how you are going to be successful in achieving the goals that you want to achieve. Put the goals out there. Ask yourself why and what it's going to mean to you when you will have achieved it. Because in January, or at least on the 2nd of January, we're all full of motivation to get going and do. But that motivation is finite. We have to keep going with something. And that something is finding the real deep down motivation, your why, on why it is important to achieve your goals. And if you read that on a regular basis, again, taking a few minutes every day to do that work, that's what's going to help you when you're not feeling like it. We're all going to have days where we're not going to feel like it. And another thing we have to remember is that it's not all or nothing. We're never going to be perfect. But if something is working for you and you do it most of the time, that's great. There will be days where you're not going to achieve what you wanted to achieve. Same in work. There's days where you don't finish your to-do list. It's the same thing. Be kind to yourself. Have you managed to do most of the stuff? And by the way, doing most of the stuff will still get you to your end result. Again, probably a little bit slower, but it will be way more realistic. Way more realistic because it is normal, it is achievable, it is something that can become part of your life over time. And it's by repeating things over and over again that you are building new habits. And those new habits will continue and help you to get to that end result. Now, you might have big goals, and that's great, and they might be scary, and you might have been told that you have to have goals that are outside of your comfort zone. They do. But we have to break those down to little micro goals, so that the more you achieve your micro goals, you are going to have the confidence to move that one step up on your journey to achieve your end result that is probably way out there, and you're not sure if you can achieve, you're not sure if you ever will achieve, especially if you've tried many times before and have failed. So we have to look at our habits and our mindsets around nutrition, around exercise, and around sleep. And we have to help ourselves when it comes to reducing the stress that we under on a consistent basis. And again, stress as a basic thing is all right. The minute we are at a consistent stress over time, that is totally not all right and is detrimental to our health. Now, yes, this is a different approach to weight loss and a weight loss journey and a health journey. But I can tell you that the clients I've worked with are clients who have built up that knowledge and that confidence in their own ability to keep going no matter what life throws at you. Yes, I had a few clients who came back to me after a very significant event in their life, a significant event that derailed them along the way. But the way they caught up after that is like just needed a bit of a refresher and a bit of a retuning of what's going on. But all in all, most of my clients have kept the results that they achieved because they weren't told what to do. They understood that the way to achieve your goals is to find out, reflect on what you're doing, find out why you're doing it, and then find different coping mechanisms with the same situation. As I said, I work with busy people who want to take back control of what they think, eat, and do. And if that resonates with you, feel free to reach out. The details are in the description of this video. You can find me on my website, which is iarchy.com. And I've also have put probably 90, if not 100% of what I'm talking about in my book, 5 Simple Steps to Releasing the Real You, which you can find both on my website, and then you'll get a signed copy, or you can buy it on Amazon. It's on Kindle as well. It's in the local bookshops. It might not be in stock in the local bookshops. I can order it for you. I will ship from my website anywhere in the UK. Funny story, I shipped a book to a friend of mine back in Belgium, where I'm from, and it got stuck in customs, and after 3 months got returned to me, even though it was a present for her. So it looks like, Brexit had something to do with it. So I try not to post anywhere around the world. So if you are somewhere else than the UK, feel free to buy it in other places, such as Amazon, such as the local bookshop. And so I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll be back next month with the next episode. If you want to be alerted on the next upcoming episodes, click the subscribe button and feel free to watch the previous episodes where I covered lots of different things, interviewed some very interesting and inspiring people. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to comment below what your thoughts are. And as I said, feel free to reach out if you are ready to do things in a different way and are fed up with making a New Year's resolution over and over again that this year will be your last weight loss journey year, because it doesn't help. And it can affect your confidence. And that's where I come in, and I'll help you build that confidence within your own abilities. Have a great month. See you all very soon.